I'm Christina with Little Sprouts Learning, and today I want to talk about home daycare activities and following kids' interests. When you see kids, you have to take time to observe what they're doing, but when you do, you're going to find magical ways to unlock explosive learning for them if you focus on what they're interested in. One example could be if the kids find ants outside, and you could expand on their learning by asking them open-ended questions like, what do you think ants eat, or what do you think ants do, or where do you think they're taking all that stuff, or what are they holding? There's a million ways that you could study ants and expand on that if your kids are interested in ants. If your kids run away screaming from bugs and they say, eek, bugs, that might not be the thing. But what about today? I had some kids that were lining up all the baby dolls and making a nursery, and they were calling it a baby party. One student didn't want his baby at the baby party. He wanted to take his baby and go. And another student was not having it because she was making a baby party. So how could I expand on a baby party? Well, for one, she needs to learn that that child doesn't have to do what she wants. And that's always a hard lesson because we want other people to do what we want. But I could support her by offering more baby materials like more blankets, bottles, food. What do you think babies eat? How do you think you take care of babies? What does this baby need? And let her think about how she would like to care for the baby. If kids are interested in cooking or tasting different things, you could have a taste test or a recipe contest. We did that one time with some school-age kids, and we were growing stuff in the garden back here. And we had tomatoes or onions and garlic from our spring garden, but we had tomatoes and peppers growing. So they decided they wanted to have a salsa making contest. And so I let them choose what they wanted. I let them choose if they wanted to use a butter knife to cut up their stuff, or put it in a food processor, or use a blender. I let them taste it with chips and augment the flavors in whatever way they wanted. I let them choose herbs out of the garden and how much of the ingredients they wanted. And I originally made some pico and let them watch so they could see kind of what types of things make a salsa, because when we first started the garden, they were like, I was like, what do you want to grow? And they were like, hamburgers and spaghetti. Well, that doesn't grow in the garden, but you can make spaghetti sauce out of tomatoes and, slice a tomato from the garden for your hamburger. So we worked on learning those types of things, but they learned so much from that salsa making contest, which was their own idea. You can expand on their learning by asking a lot of open-ended questions like, what do you think that sound is up in the trees? How do you think the wind blows the leaves? Where do you think the tree gets its food from? Or how does it eat or get nutrients or grow? There's like a million things that you can do to expand their thinking once they start being interested in something. So think about the things that your kids are really interested in. Watch them, take some notes, and when you get ready to make your lesson plans, start adding those things in. Are they obsessed with trains? Is it monster trucks, dinosaurs, bugs, space? What you've seen them pursuing, put those into some of your plans. I'm not the kind of person that can let the kids direct the whole thing, because I feel like we need to have some supplies to make it successful. Like if we're having a salsa contest, I need to have like limes and cilantro and salt and pepper. If you don't have the stuff that you need to succeed in the lesson, so I like to make like an outline of different things. Like for September, we're getting ready to start our preschool session, and we're going to study like back to school, all about me. Then we're going to study Michelangelo, and then we're going to study apples. And so I have an outline of what I would like to do, but it's a very loose outline. And then once their interests start to take shape, then we can follow that. Like once we start studying Michelangelo, and we talk about the Sistine Chapel and painting a ceiling, and we talk about sculpture and how you can carve things or mold things into sculptures, then whatever the kids' directions go to, if they love laying on the floor painting on the bottom of a table like it's the ceiling, we're going to do more of that. If they love sculpting, we're going to find different things to sculpt. We can sculpt wiki sticks, we can sculpt pipe cleaners, we can sculpt clay, we can sculpt Play-Doh, model magic, wiki sticks, pipe cleaners, all everything, wadded up paper, take recycled boxes out of the recycle, like cardboard cereal boxes and mac and cheese boxes, and use tape to make sculptures, buildings, and whatever. So that loose outline is there so that we have some reference and some materials, and so I can introduce something new to them, because we haven't studied Michelangelo before, but we want to know more. He was Italian, so we're going to make some Italian food. And then whatever direction their interests take is how we'll expand on it as we do it. And so that's a way that I balance it, with letting kids direct it, and also having some structure so that I feel like I'm prepared to give them the best experiences possible. And you can always expand on it later and come back to it if you need to get more supplies, but I just kind of like to feel prepared. But when I do let them take the things in their own direction, their learning just explodes, and it's just like the most magical thing to watch. So try to do a little bit of both. I know that home daycare is the hardest job in the world, but it's definitely the most rewarding, and it's really important, and I'm really proud of you for trying to be your best at it, and I'm rooting for you.